number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Oh dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Murray Hill 40098 now for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy. But I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill 40098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all the time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm all alone here in the house. My health is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello? George?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number am I calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
In a phone booth.
Okay, you know the address. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello? What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand.
Make it quick, as little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife. Okay, sir.
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelet and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like a simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
Oh, how awful! How unspeakably!
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, madam. What number were you calling?
Why, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have been crossed. I was cut into a wrong number, and I've just heard the most dreadful thing. A murder. And, operator, you'll simply have to retrace that call at once.
I beg your pardon, madam. I don't quite...
Oh, I know it was just a wrong number, and I had no business listening. But these two men, they were cold-blooded friends, poor innocent woman who was all alone in a house near a bridge. And we've got to stop them. We've got to...
What number were you calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. This was a wrong number, and you dialed it. And we've got to find out what it was. Immediately.
But, madam...
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to try Murray Hill 40098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped. And I was connected with some other number. And I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply fail to see why you couldn't make that same mistake again on purpose. Why you couldn't try to dial Murray Hill 40098 in the same careless sort of way.
Murray Hill 40098. I will try to get it for you, madam.
Thank you.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I am sorry. Murray Hill 40098 is busy.
Operator.
I am sorry. What number were you calling? I will connect you with the chief operator.
Please. This is the chief operator. Chief operator, I wanted to trace a call, a telephone call immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was masking it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down because it was about a murder. Yes, a terrible cold-blooded murder of a poor innocent woman tonight at 11:15. I see. Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, madam.
Depends on what?
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace it on the equipment. If it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected?
If the parties stop talking to each other.
Oh, but of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago, and they didn't sound like the type who would make a long call.
Well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen,
And your telephone number?
Plaza 42295. But if you go on wasting all this time,
And what is your reason for wanting this call traced?
my reason? Well, for heaven's sake. Isn't it obvious? I overheard two men. They're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It is a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No. How could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual?
Yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we could make this check for you at this time just on your say-so as a private individual. We'd have to have something more official.
oh, for heaven's sake. You mean to tell me I can't report a murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? Why, it's perfectly idiotic. Alright, then, I will call the police. Ridiculous.
Your call, please.
The police department, please.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking.
Police department? Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smith Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
Eh?
I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard the plans for it over the telephone, over wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everybody is so stupid. And I guess in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. Two men were talking and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in a house near a bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go around for a beer on the 2nd Avenue. And there was some third man, a client, who was paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take their rings, bracelet, and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something. You do understand.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson,
And your address?
53 Sutton Place. That's near a bridge, the Queensboro Bridge. You know, and we have a private patrolman on our street. And 2nd Avenue.
And what was the number you were calling?
Murray Hill 40098, but that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Murray Hill 40098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the maid's night off. And I hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and see if we can check it with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said that they couldn't check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've taken care of that.
Oh, yes?
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call do? If they've stopped talking, by the time you track it down, they already have committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it, lady. Don't worry.
I'd say the whole thing's called for a search. A complete and thorough search of the whole city. I'm very near a bridge, and I'm not far from the 2nd Avenue. And I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you send a radio car to this neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think the murder is going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Oh, I don't know. This coincidence is so horrible. 2nd Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know about many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and Bronx. And how do you know there isn't some little house out on Staten Island, on some little 2nd Avenue you never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
But I heard a call on the New York dialing system.
How do you know it wasn't a long distance courier overhead? Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, Why did you look at this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on the telephone call? Supposing you got your husband the way you always do? Would this murder have made any difference to you then?
I suppose not. But it's so inhuman, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders committed in this city every day, ma'am. If we could do something to stop them, we would. But a clue of this kind that's so vague is it much more use to us than no clue at all.
But surely,
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is phony, and that someone may be planning to murder you.
me? Oh no. I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid Eloise. She's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring up my breakfast tray. And the only other person is my husband, Albert. He's crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot, and he scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years ago. But what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
We'll take care of it, lady. Lady, I said we'll take care of it. Just now, I got a couple of other matters here on my desk that require my immediate. Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking. Police Department, Duffy speaking.
Will you broadcast it all over the city? And send out squads? And warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine? Oh, idiot. Now, why did I do that? Now he'll think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 40098 again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy. Shall I? Ringing Murray Hill 40098. The line is busy. Shall I?
Eh?